Let's look at a few examples of distributing products of binomials. Actually, we're going to start by just reviewing what we mean by distribution. Here's a problem that asks us to simplify an expression, and in this case, simplify is going to mean to write it with fewer symbols, so we're going to try to write it without the need for those parentheses. What's going on here is I have an expression, 4x minus 2, that's being multiplied by 3. And what distribution means is that 3, when it multiplies this expression, is really multiplying each thing inside the parentheses. It's multiplying the 4x, and it's multiplying the negative 2. So if we distribute, that means we're going to show how those individual multiplications are working out. So I'll have 3 times 4x minus 3 times 2. Notice how I'm using the same minus sign that I had above. So 3 times 4x is 12x, and 3 times 2 is 6. And so this is the simplified form. That's it. That's all distribution means. You can also do distribution when you have a variable. So in this case, this x is multiplying the 3x, so x times 3x. And this x is multiplying the 1, so plus x times 1. X times 3x, well, to simplify that, we take the coefficient and leave it as it is, and we multiply the x's together. X times x is x squared. And then x times 1 is just x. And just as a quick review, how did I get 3x squared here? So I have x times 3 times x, and you're allowed to multiply those together in any order you want. Just like if I had 2 times 3 times 4, I could write 3 times 2 times 4, or 4 times 3 times 2, and I would always get the same answer. I'd get 24 no matter what order I did that multiplication. When it's all multiplication, the order doesn't matter. So the same thing's going on here. I can do it in the order 3 times x, and that's the same as 3x squared. So that's where that came from. And this is our simplified form. Notice that the term here in the statement of the question was expand instead of simplify. In this case, it means the same thing. We're expanding it so that we don't have to write it with those parentheses. And this is our answer, 3x squared plus x. Okay, so now we're going to do a slightly more complicated example where we're multiplying these things together, and both factors in our product are themselves binomials. This is a binomial. It's two monomials added together. This is a binomial, two monomials added together. So when we multiply those, we can think of it the same way. This whole thing is multiplying each thing in the right half. So this x plus 3 multiplies the x, and it multiplies the 2. And then we've partially distributed, but we actually have to do some more distribution because this x is multiplying this x and this 3. So I can rewrite the first piece here as x times x, that's x squared, and 3 times x. Do the same thing over here. I get 2 times x and 2 times 3. And then finally, we can clean it up by just combining the like terms. I have an x squared. I have two expressions that are constants times x, 3x plus 2x. Combine those to get 5x. And this 2 times 3, sorry, I should have put a little indication of multiplication there. That comes out to be 6. All right, let's do one more. So this is just like the previous question. It doesn't look like it at first, but it's really the same thing. We've got this quantity 2x plus 3. That whole thing is squared. Squaring means you're multiplying that value by itself. So what's written here is equivalent to 2x plus 3 times 2x plus 3. And now I want to do my distribution to get rid of all the parentheses. In the previous example, we did the distribution one step at a time, where I took the first quantity in parentheses and distributed that whole thing to each of the terms inside the second set of parentheses. And then I had to do more distribution after that. This time I'm going to show you how you can do all the distribution at once. Remember, everything in the first set of parentheses is multiplying everything in the second set of parentheses. So this 2x has to multiply this other 2x. This 2x also has to multiply this plus 3. This 3 has to multiply the 2x in the second set of parentheses. And this 3 has to multiply the 3 in the second set of parentheses. All my distribution is done. All I have to do now is simplify by combining things that are like terms and writing them more neatly. 2x times 2x, 2 times 2 is 4, x times x is x squared. 2x times 3 is 6x, 3 times 2x is 6x, and 3 times 3 is 9. And finally, if we combine like terms, 6x plus 6x is 12x. And this is the simplified or expanded form of 2x plus 3 quantity squared.